Dragapult VMAX with Lycanroc. Well, this will be interesting. Welcome back, everyone, to more From the Sable Eyes. I'm Mitch, and today I'm going to take a look at Dragapult VMAX, one of my favourite decks from the Rebel Clash format, with an extra little bit of tech for Eternatus. Obviously, with Darkness Ablaze Eternatus, VMAX has come into the format and kind of taken over Dragapult's spot. We need a way to be able to deal with that if we want to play Dragapult again, so we are going to bring in Lycanroc to try and ease up the burden a little bit, make it a little bit easier to win against that particular deck, as well as having some nice utility for others as well. So we'll take a look on PTCGO, my goodness, I almost said it in one take there, in just a second. But before we do, if you like this kind of stuff and you want to see more, we've got new decks coming out every day. Down the bottom, check to see you're subscribed. If you are, that's great. If you're not, just click on the button, give you some dopamine, that would be great. Give a like as well, that would be great. You'd be surprised how many people don't like these videos. Anyway, we'll jump into PTCGO, we'll see how the deck works. So here is the list that I'm going to be running with for today's video. It is very, very interesting. We finally get to take another look at an old Lycanroc card. In fact, I don't think that I've ever featured Lycanroc on the channel. I think I started the channel after Zoroark Lycanroc was a thing. So we might have done like Zapdos Lycanroc or something like that, but yeah, a long time ago Lycanrocs were good, and this is a different one, Twilight Eyes. We'll talk about that in a second. The main feature here is Dragapult VMAX. We've seen this card before from Rebel Clash, 320 HP VMAX Pokemon with Shred for 60 and Max Phantom for 130. That's 2 Psychic Energy, dealing 130 damage and placing 5 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. A very powerful attack that has been removed from the format due to the little dark symbol in the bottom left corner of this card. We are weak to dark, which means Eternatus is going to be able to deal with us quite handily. So if we do end up playing against that deck, we probably still are going to struggle, but every other deck in the format still fears Dragapult. Dragapult is still a good card, and when people aren't playing to defend against Dragapult, then they are going to get punished every now and then. So it's definitely worth playing if you don't expect to see Eternatus. I mean, it's hard to say because that's the best deck in the format, but if you're not expecting to see it, or if you're willing to risk dodging it, Dragapult VMAX could be a deck for you. Now, to mitigate that weakness, we've obviously got Lycanroc-GX. We've got two of this particular card, 200 HP fighting Pokemon with Twilight Eyes, which allows us to remove an energy from our opponent's active Pokemon when we evolve into it, which is really strong against lots of decks that try and set up through manual attachments. So Eternatus has to manually attach. ADP can sometimes struggle with this as well if you can get it off in the early game. There's lots of things that really rely on making sure that they attach every turn, and Lycanroc-GX can really throw a spanner in that works. Accelerock for 120 is not an attack that we're looking to use. Instead, Splintered Shards GX is our go-to here. For 1 fighting energy, we can deal 30 damage for every energy in our opponent's discard pile. Now, that doesn't seem like too much, but just think about it this way. If your opponent has 4 energy in the discard pile, remembering, of course, you can put 1 there yourself, then you'll be dealing about 120 to an Eternatus. That's 240 damage, so now we are within range of being knocked out by a Dragapult. So we've got options here, and of course, the more energy that your opponent discards early, the higher the damage cap for this particular card. It's also pretty strong against Pikarom, which is still floating around in the format at the moment. So if you can't beat Pikarom with just Dragapult, it's obviously possible, but Lycanroc can definitely help there as well. The rest of the deck is pretty much all support Pokemon. We've got 4 Jirachi, which is obviously quite important in this deck to try and set ourselves up. We've got Galarian Zigzagoon, which is going to help us add extra ticks on the field. We've got Giratina to get rid of special energy from our opponent. We can remove Heat Fire from Center Scorch and things like that. This card isn't quite as required as it used to be, but it is still definitely very strong, so worth considering. We have Mind Report Mewtwo to get some supporters back as well, and we have a Crobat and a Dedenne to help draw through our deck early. Now, this list is probably not going to be quite as good as an old Dragapult list because the meta has shifted significantly, but there are still a lot of ways that we can put ourselves in front. And if you look through our items, you'll see that there's a couple of cards that are quite interesting, specifically Crushing Hammer. We are going to presume that we're going to flip 2 heads out of every 4 Crushing Hammers that we play, plus Lycanroc means we can discard 3 energy from our opponent's field in a game. Against Eternatus, that can potentially give us enough time to win. Against lots of other decks, that's going to be quite crippling, and it'll give us the time that we need to set up our knockouts on the bench. So, Crushing Hammer plus Lycanroc-GX, a very, very powerful combination. The rest of the deck is obviously just support to try and get our Pokemon in play. We've got 4 Quick Ball to search out basic Pokemon, 2 Pokecom. We've got 20 Pokemon in the list, so a very good number to use Pokecom efficiently. We have 2 Evo Essence because it's quite important to get our VMAX and our GX out, so if we can find those without having to pay a cost, that would be beautiful. And we can also search out Energy with Energy Spinner. We've got 2 copies of that. A manual attachment on a Dragapult is super, super important. Switch cards, we've got 4 copies of Switch to just move in and out of the active, and 4 Scoop Up Nets that will give us access to multiple pings from Zigzagoon, maybe reuse a Mewtwo or something like that. And we also have 2 copies of Reset Stamp so that we can try and slow our opponent down and stop them from being able to win the game. Supporters, it's 4 Research, 3 Marnie, and then just the 1 Boss's Orders. We're going to try and just take the knockouts on the things that are in the active. If we have to discard the boss, we've got the Mewtwo, we can get it back multiple times if we need it, but it's not particularly likely. Onto the energy, it's a really low energy count in this deck actually. We've got 4 regular Psychic, obviously searchable by Spinner. We have 3 Horror Psychic, and then 1 Aurora Energy, and this is how we are going to potentially power up our Lycanroc-GX if we have to. Aurora Energy will be our coloured energy which floats around. Also, interestingly, we could potentially use Dedenne because of that as well. We can potentially use Crobat because of that. We've got a whole bunch of attackers that we might be able to attack with in a pinch if we have to. But Dragapult is still just as powerful as it has been all the time since it came out. Very good card. The meta, obviously not great for it, but what we'll do is we'll jump out onto the ladder and we'll see if we can't get ourselves a game or 2 when Max Phantom takes some prizes. Alright, we've got game 1 coming up here. We're calling the coin flip. We've lost it, so our opponent will get to choose what we do. As long as we get an attachment to the active turn 1, I'll be happy. Whilst we're setting up here, if you haven't already, go down the bottom, subscribe. We've got a Dragapult here that's really, really good, and an attachment. This is perfect. Go and subscribe, like the video, and yeah, enjoy. We'll see whether we can get some games with this deck. We are playing, this looks like ADP, okay. So the Dedenne that's in our hand, we are going to probably Pokecom away because we don't want to put it down. Jirachi seems okay. It is ADP. And they're going first, which means they get to attach first. This is not great. But we'll see if the Lycanroc is capable of slowing our opponent down here. Definitely possible. They've attached to ADP. And Intrepid Sword. It's a fine start. There's nothing bad about that. They've got an energy on the Zacian as well. Let's have a think. I think I'm going to attach the Horror Psychic. I'll play down the Jirachi. I like that. Let's think here. I kind of want to get down a Rockruff so that once our opponent uses their GX attack, we can get the Lycanroc-GX off. So I might grab that Rockruff. Yeah, I don't really want to play down Crobat or Dedenne because that will be very uncomfortable for me. We've got 2 Quick Balls here, so I should probably play that. We will discard another Quick Ball and grab... I think we just get like another Dragapult, right? That seems fine, just to guarantee that we've got ourselves some attackers. And then we'll research, throwing away our only copy of Boss, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Yeah, we're at the point now where we don't really need to do anything else. We can bite. That's pretty good. And then, yeah, hopefully our opponent doesn't have too much that they're able to do. They obviously need to find that water energy to get the GX attack off, but since we didn't find Crushing Hammer, we are going to be in a bit of trouble. Here's a Dedenne from our opponent. Hopefully, what we can do is we can, after they GX, we can evolve into the Lycanroc-GX, remove one of their energy, find a Crushing Hammer, flip heads, and then remove all of the energy off of the ADP to stop that being a threat, although they've already half-powered up a Zacian, so that's pretty frightening. We are definitely going to throw away this hand, though, because I don't want Crobat or Dedenne to be in play. That is bad. Okay, we've got a Crushing Hammer. Beautiful. So we just flip heads on this. Okay, no, that's alright. Will attach, I will Evo Incense. Now, do I go for the Lycanroc or the Dragapult? If I get the Dragapult, I guarantee that I attack. And I think that is more important. I would rather guarantee I attack than get the energy off. I'll Quick Ball here. We can get rid of the Dedenne. I don't know. Do we get? Maybe we just get Zigzagoon. Don't really need anything here. Oh, maybe. Do I? No, I'm gonna put it. I think I'm gonna put it. I can put it on the Zacian and get that a little bit closer. Let's research. Because we're gonna put 5 damage counters on the Zacian. We'll see how we go. We don't get any of our energy denial. Okay, so this is not going to be great. We're going to put 130 on the active. They're going to go to 160, so it means that we're going to be able to knock them out later. So it's not a problem, but now they get to power up a second Zacian. So this is not good. I feel like we would have been in a fine spot if we had hit heads and found Lycanroc. We would have been in a really good spot. Not so much now. And the big charm, that means that ADP is now out of range of a knockout. Although, to be fair, if they attack into us, we have the Horror Psychic. So if they attack into us, then we will be fine. They got 2 powered Zacians here, though. This is pretty intimidating. I'm not going to lie. Here comes a Marnie from our opponent. Maybe we can find ourselves some energy denial here. No, nothing. I mean, we've got a Lycanroc, but it does nothing for us. Okay, so they've hit into us. We are going to be able to take a knockout on them because of the Horror Psychic, which is good. We can attach to the benched Dragapult. Hopefully we flip heads on this Crushing Hammer. Okay, we probably get rid of like a Zacian's damage, and then... Sorry, not damage. Energy, and then we'll Evo Incense. We can grab the last Dragapult from the deck and then thin it. I think that's the best way to go. Our opponent has 5 cards. We'll just research. We've got to find ourselves some stuff. Okay, let's have a think here. We're going to knock them out, then they're going to knock us out. So they're going to take 4 prizes. I'm going to scoop this Zigzagoon up. I don't need to play it down. Oh, this is tough. Let's play it down. We'll get some damage counters onto that Zacian, onto the Dedenne on the bench, so that we can potentially knock it out. We are going to need a little bit of luck here, though. We're not in a good spot. Actually, no. What I should have done, because they're going to knock me out with Zacian. What I should have done is I should have held that Zigzagoon in hand, because they're going to hit into me once here. I'm going to knock them out. Yeah, this is bad. Okay, so they're going to knock me out here, right? They're going to go to 4 prizes. I can stamp them to 2, and I potentially wanted to have held all of the things off of the field of play, because now I've got 3 basics in play, and I don't want 3 basics in play. That's okay. It's okay. We've got Jirachi here. We've got Crushing Hammer. We've got all sorts of stuff. We should be fine. Crushing Hammer. Hopefully we flip heads. We can get rid of an energy off of the bench. No. Okay. Let's just Quick Ball the Lycanroc away. I'll double check here. Some counts. Let's grab a Dragapult. I've got 3 scoop up nets left, so I could potentially remove all 3 of the 1 prize attackers off. I feel much better about it if I had access to another scoop up net, or didn't have to find 3 of them. We will switch into the Dragapult here. We've got 1 scoop up net. We'll reset stamp. I think I have to find 2 scoop up nets off of this Marnie here to try and win this game. Oh no, I can't Marnie because I've already stamped him. I just have to attack, right? Yeah, we just attack. Not ideal. Not ideal. And this is the reason why people think that ADP should be banned. Not because it's too good, but because it's so fast. It is going to really... It's going to struggle to find a way to knock me out. It needs Gust, right? So, like, Quick Ball's an out. Boss's Orders isn't out. They just have to hope they don't have it. They've got Quick Ball. Is Eldegoss prized? Hopefully Eldegoss is prized. It is not prized. Okay, so we are going to lose this one. That's a shame. There's a world where I won that game. I feel like there's a world where I win in that game. Maybe I went too conservative in trying to not play down Dedennes, and so I didn't find the Lycanroc to remove the energy. But I still think it was the right play. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Alright, I think that it's actually worth keeping that game in there, to be honest. Normally when I lose, I'm like, is it the best way to show off the deck? I think that it actually did okay. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. We've started Mewtwo here, so this game will be lucky if it gets off of the ground. We've got a quick ball and we're going second, I suppose, so that's all right. Let's check my phone since I don't think it's going to get in. Let's see. Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't have checked my phone, to be fair. Because this game probably does still get in if I can... Okay, we're playing Pikarom. I was about to say, if we can find Dragapult and attach to it, we're likely to... Oh, we're getting stamped here. That's an odd choice. Okay, we've still not got a great hand. We've got something, though, which is good. We've got energy and a quick ball. I was about to say, before I got interrupted by myself, Pikarom is always a deck that I feel like something can beat. Like, it's so easy for it to miss that I think that it is definitely possible for all decks to beat Pikarom. Especially now that Pikarom doesn't have access to Thunder Mountain. It is just that tiny little bit weaker. And we are still in a decent spot. They've got a Boltund on the bench though, so they're going to try and retreat into that and use Electrify. Here's the switch. Do they have the energy? You'd have to presume that they do. Vikavolt comes down. That's the frustrating inclusion in this deck. They're going to attach the Big Charm and go from there. We've got a Jirachi. We've got a Giratina, so we'll get rid of that energy. I don't want you to have that. Let's quick ball away Marnie. Then we will grab a Dragapult. I'm getting rid of the Marnie. No, not the Dedenne. Dragapult. I'm getting rid of the Marnie because I'm going to scoop up this Mewtwo and go into Jirachi. So, worst case scenario, Marnie will be on top of the deck. Like, it's a bit of an expensive way to go about this, but we can play down Zigzagoon and then play down Mewtwo and we'll have access to a Marnie. Worst case scenario. Do we play the Mewtwo down or we just risk it? No, we guarantee it. You've got to guarantee it. Put the Marnie on top. Stellar Wish. And it's a good thing we did because otherwise we would have had nothing left. I mean, we could have Dedena'd, but that's, you know, it is what it is. We Marnie into a hand of nothing, and we pass. I mean, we can play this Jirachi down just in case they knock us out. They're not going to knock us out. That's just going to be stuck on the bench now. Ugh. This game definitely isn't making it in. Okay, what are they going to do? They're going to Electrify. They're going to power up a Pikarom. Maybe they even power up, like, Vikavolt. That would be painful. Oh, Boss's Orders. What are they going to get rid of here? They're going to move the Mewtwo into the active. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to Electrify it to the Pikarom. And then we've got a Switch and a Crushing Hammer. Oh my god, one of those is going to hit. One day, a Crushing Hammer will hit. Let's research. Get rid of our Boss's Orders again. We've got Energy. We've got the VMAX. So we've got an attack here. That's pretty good. We'll grab ourselves Dragapult VMAX. We can evolve that. We can also scoop up something here. What do we want to scoop up? Let's get rid of this Giratina, I reckon. Then we can, like, Quick Ball. We'll get rid of the Giratina. Find a Rockruff, because this is, I think, a pretty cool card. Then we max Phantom. 130 on the actives, and I think I just put 50 on the Pikarom. That seems like a likely place for it to go. Actually, no, to be fair, I should have targeted down the Dedenne, because then I would have been able to take 2 knockouts. Vikavolt and Dedenne and stuff, but yeah, whatever. Whatever. I'm going to gust down our Mewtwo again. Okay. You going to knock me out, or are you just going to Electrify again? Oh my god. Oh, good. Oh, but jeez. Oh, but jeez. I don't know. Is this game worth keeping? We haven't lost yet. We've got an energy. We've got Lycanroc, which we can shuffle away with Con. Do we get anything? I think I just grab the Jirachi and put it on the bottom with that Marnie that we've top decked. Seems likely. Maybe you should have attached to the Mewtwo. That's okay. We can always spin her and do it if I want to. Let's see what we get here off of the hammers. Tails and heads. Excellent. So I think I'll get rid of the active. Let's spinner. We'll grab ourselves an energy. Then we'll... I think I'm going to attach it. And then I'll pass. Just make it so that they want to knock out this Mewtwo so it doesn't retreat. This is a slow and tedious game. This is what happens when when the game doesn't finish in 4 turns. Everyone just kind of sits around and hopes for the best. It's like, whatever is going to happen in this game of Pokemon? This is a thriller. Research, okay. So they're going to throw away a bunch of cards here. The reset stamp and another scoop up and all that kind of stuff. They haven't used their Tapu Koko yet, and they've got turbo patches. Good grief. Good grief, Charlie Brown. At least they flip tails on that. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Come on, buddy. You can do it. I feel like I've got something in my eye. This is going to be a very weird experience if this game does get in. Just as an FYI, if the game gets into the video, this is what I'm doing in games that I don't show you. I'm rambling, making a fool of myself, doing silly things. So the question is, do you want to see more games like that? Would you rather I lose and the deck doesn't work and you hear me rambling? Or would you rather see me win games or see the deck work? That's the question for today. Our comment question of the day: do you want to see the deck work, or do you want to hear me ramble like a madman? That's the question. Let me know. See how you go. They've got an energy switch. They're just gonna electrify again. Oh my god. Alright, I hope we top deck a supporter or an energy. I hope we top deck supporter or energy. Oh, okay. That's fine. Switch is fine. We'll just go into Dragapult and then Max Phantom, I think. That's pretty much all we have to do. Could have, like, quick board to thin, but nah, whatever. Knockout. Let's get ourselves some damage on this Dedenne now. I'll put 30 on it now that I've committed to this Pikarom. Where does the last bit go? I think the Pikarom's fine. That's what they're going to attack with next. Let's see what we can find. We've got Energy Spinner and Switch. Okay. So neither of those are amazing, but at least there's something. Our opponent promotes. Oh, they're going to Marnie us now. No worries. Promoting a Pikarom here, so we'll probably see a Tag Bolt. It's likely. It just depends what they're going to choose to knock out on our bench, whether it's the Rockruff, the Zigzagoon, something else. Another Tails for Turbo Patch. Here comes a third Turbo Patch now. Another Tails. Come on. Whew! That's bad luck. Tag Bolt's going to knock out the Mewtwo. Okay, so they're identifying that the only way that we can guts is with that card. That's no good. We need to power up another Dragapult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this Dragapult and grab another Dragapult. I want a Crobat, though. I really want a Crobat. No. Dragapult has to go down. We have to get an energy attachment. Let's Marnie. Hopefully we find an energy. We do. Excellent stuff. We can attach that energy. Next turn we'll be able to reset stamp them to 2 cards, because they will knock out the Dragapult VMAX. Let's just Max Phantom here, put 130 damage on the active, and then we'll just pile the rest onto the Dedenne. Hopefully we can get there at some point. Not putting the 50 on Dedenne early is going to cost us a little bit here. Not too much, just a little bit. They're going to switch into Raichu, and they're going to energy switch onto that Raichu. Okay, this is cool. So they're going to Tandem Shock, right? That'll knock me out. I can promote the Dragapult. I can evolve into the VMAX. I can evolve into Lycanroc, discard an energy. That's good. And then reset stamp them to 2. How many energy do they have in the bin? They've got 2. Okay, so we're not attacking with Lycanroc this turn. Yeah, we'll promote the Dragapult. We will... Oh, an energy. Excellent stuff. It's all coming up Millhouse now. Maybe we will keep the video in. Lycanroc will discard an energy from the active. Excellent. We can reset stamp them to 2, and then we research. If we find a Crushing Hammer and flip heads, I think the game's pretty much over. There's a hammer. Can we flip heads? It's a bad card. Okay. What's our next step? I think we're going to knock out the Pikarom for our last... Oh, we've got 4 prizes to take. Oh no, I thought I only had 3. Let's just max Phantom. Because worst case scenario, we just knock out the active and the Pikarom in the same turn. Because they've used so many energy, they're unlikely to be able to attach one. If they do attach one, that's fine. We aren't within range of knocking out the Dedenne next turn, really, but we are a couple away from that Pikarom. We might be able to sneak a win here. That Big Charm's annoying though. Okay, the video's back to not being in. It's back to not being in the video. This video is not in this video. Let's go, buddy. Do you have an energy or not? 2 cards left in hand. You don't have a supporter. Otherwise, you would have played it. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? That's what I've been doing in my free time recently, is watching Hamilton. It's a musical that you should definitely look at. It's pretty interesting if you're a American history person. Oh, you do have an energy. You just didn't do anything with it. Cool. Okay, so if they attack the Dragapult VMAX here, they're going to take 20. Okay, I think we win the game now. Because they're going to go to 20, 150, we can get an extra 10 with this Zigzagoon on the active, that'll go to 160. Then 130 on the active will be, yep, cool, no worries. Victory. It's in the video. I think this video is capturing my slow descent into madness quite well. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This deck is fun. Not that I really showed it off too much in this video, to be fair. This was more of a me video. I just want to focus on me for a bit, as you should every now and then. Thank you everyone for viewing this monstrosity. I appreciate your attendance as usual. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. If you're at the end of the video though, you usually are subscribed, which is great. If you are subscribed, then prove it. Like the video, or else. A brave me would just cut the video there, but instead I'm going to do the usual stuff. Subscribe, there's videos over here. Yeah, there's videos down here. And all sorts of stuff is available for you. If you visit the channel, go and take a look at some more Darkness Ablaze content. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully a slightly more structured video coming tomorrow. I don't know, that anything could happen. See you next time. Bye.